So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this talk. My name is Hanno, and the talk is essentially about two of my most favorite hobbies, which is making music and developing software. And although these two things seem like two very different things, they are actually more alike than you might think. Consider this list of verbs, for example. I can associate them with software quite easily. I can create my software, develop it, program it, craft software, write software, publish software, produce software, and I can run software, but these verbs also go very well with music. I can create music, develop music, I can program music. A DJ is essentially programming his or her music, right? I can craft my music, write music, publish music. Producing music and running music is the kind that we all need when we go out for our morning runs, and we need a 165 beats per minute mix. And I think this example shows that music and software are very much alike, because in order to produce them, creativity is needed. Now, musicians and software developers, they are not factory workers who just repeat the same process over and over again. On the contrary, they are craftspeople. They shape and they sculpt their product until they are happy with it. And mostly they are not, because it needs to be better. So I think I've mentioned already that music and software are two favorite hobbies of mine. Now, I've managed to turn one of these hobbies into a career. Now, during this talk, you can make up your mind about which hobby is my career and which one is not. You know, after you've heard the music and seen the software. Bottom line, I love to see music and software come together, and each time it happens, I feel like the happiest person on earth. So in what ways do music and software come together? Well, I can think of a number of ways. Let's demonstrate one possible way with a code example. I came across this code example on Twitter some time ago, and it immediately made me very happy. In fact, being a singer and a musician, I literally can't stop myself from singing along. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. I'm just a poor boy, I need no sympathy, because I'm easy come, easy go, little high, little low. Any way the wind blows doesn't really matter to me. Now, DevOps may call this talk a quickie, but other conferences call it a lightning talk, which is another reason why the Queen song is appropriate, because of this part. Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo, Galileo, Galileo. And so on. You know the drill, right? On that note, here is another classic Twitter hit. I'm going to turn down the volume a bit. Do plus, do plus, do plus if, do plus if, do plus if the fall, do plus if the fall, do plus if the fall won't import, that's right. This you break to stop, try it slow for private static. Wild. Now thanks. Now I'll be the first one to admit that this is a very geeky one, a bit over the top. Perhaps, I mean, why should we mess with these lyrics at all? Surely tons of popular songs can be applied to software engineering already without altering anything. So let's embark on a small musical journey throughout a typical software development process. Why? Because it will be fun, because we're here anyway, and because it makes me very happy. And who knows, maybe we will discover loads of songs that have been misinterpreted by the masses for years. Because everyone seems to think that in the end, all songs are about love. Ew! You know what? These people are all wrong. All songs are actually about software development. Yes, all of them. So let's start out. And of course, when we start out developing our software, we start with gathering requirements. Now, whenever a product owner comes to me with some requirements, my music-addicted brain immediately goes, hey, slow it down. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? Yeah, I'm afraid. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? Now, requirements are very rarely immediately clear. I mean, not after the product owner has explained them just once. So in a lot of cases, requirements need to be refined, right? And in general, I'm really eager for some refinement work. Why? Because it makes me very happy to sing to my product owner, just don't give up, I'm working it out. So appropriate, I love it. Now suppose the requirements were refined and the story was made ready, it's placed on the sprint backlog. This means we can start implementing the requirements. Now when I'm coding, numerous songs just tend to pop up in my head. For example, when I'm calling a method called stop, my head immediately fills with hammer time. Can't touch this. Break it down. You know, my head does this every single time, and a good word for it in the English language is a reflex, because it happens instantly. It's a reflex, and I can't really stop it. It's a reflex. I'm effectively a victim here. It's a reflex. Don't you feel sorry for me? I can't even turn it off. Or every time I'm doing some conditional logic. This happens. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. Or when I'm handling exceptions, today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. Well, what you gotta do is handle this exception, you silly, and do it properly this time, because this is dreadful stuff. Now, I know what you folks all must be thinking. This guy is off his rocker. He's mental. Or as an American person would phrase this, he is crazy. But as it turns out, everyone has this ability in some way. For example, what does your brain tell you after hearing this? Yes. Now, turns out there are two types of people in the world. The ones who go, eyes, eyes, baby. And the other ones, and they will go, pressure! Pushing down on me, pressing down on you, no man asked for. Under pressure, it seems like you have this too, so stop laughing at me, okay? Also, now you know what to do when asked during a job interview if you can perform under pressure, you know? Yeah. The interview could go, can you do Java, Cobol, Python, Haskell? That is great, we use them all. Also, can you perform under pressure? And you would just push back your chair and go, pressure! They simply won't be able to resist you. Moving on to the code, whenever I write a switch statement, this happens. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. I'll do what it takes till I touch the sky. Make a wish, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Don't forget your break statements, people. Now let's assume at this point in time your code is pretty much done, and the next step would be version control. And the lyrics to the last song I did contains really inspiring stuff. In fact, I think it's perfectly fine to use as a commit message. See, make a wish, take a chance, make a change. Make a change. I like that last one. It's nice, it's generic, you can use it anywhere. Now, of course, after all our commit has been created, we need to push it. Push it to the limit. Past the point of no return. You've reached the top, but still you gotta learn how to keep it. Stage 5 is debugging. Now let's face it, nobody's perfect, right? So bugs will be found in your code, and of course the most in question is... No, it's not how many bugs are there. It's also not how will you fix them or how will you reproduce them. The most important question is, what song will play inside your head when it happens? Well, when the user files a defect, what would your most mature and responsible response be? Denial, of course. The first step to any healthy bug fixing process. And to be fair, also a bit of determination, but both responses are addressed by the next song. They told him, don't you ever come around here. Don't wanna see your face, you better disappear. The fire's in their eyes and their words are really clear, so beat it. But you wanna be bad, just beat it. Beat it. No one wants to be defeated. Showing how funky and strong is your fight. It doesn't matter who's wrong and right, just beat it. Just beat it. Ow! Now when the bug is persistent and denial no longer works, we need a special bug song to start the bug fixing. So without further ado, here it is. When you try your best but you don't succeed. When you get what you want but not what you need. When you feel so tired but you can't sleep. Stuck in reverse. Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones. And I will try to fix you. Now, if Fix You by Coldplay is the debug song, then what would be a good debugging song? Funny coincidence, it's by the same band and the song is called The Scientist. Now, these lyrics are so accurate. I think in a past life, Chris Martin was a software developer. There simply is no other explanation. Just listen to the lyrics. Everyone's typical debugging session is written all over this. I was just guessing numbers and figures, pulling the puzzles apart. Questions of science, science in progress, don't speak as loud as my heart. Tell me you love me, come back and haunt me. Oh, and I rush to the start, running in circles, chasing our tails, coming back as we are. Nobody said it was easy. Oh, it's such a shame for us to part. Nobody said it was easy. No one ever said it would be so hard. Oh, here it comes. I'm going back to the start. Which happens a lot in a debugging session, am I right? Now, after fixing this bug, I usually use the bridge from Fix You to come up with a good commit message. Tears stream down your face. Here's your message. I promise you I will learn from my mistakes. We're nearing the finish line now, and I feel like you folks deserve a word of appreciation, because you've stuck with me for the last 14 minutes, which had some unconventional content in it, to say the least. So as a token of my appreciation, please accept the following musical poem. I call it For the Brave Souls. Now for the brave souls who got this far, you are the chosen ones, our valiant knights who toil away without rest to become better versions of yourselves. To you, kings and queens of men, I say this. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. I just couldn't help myself. Please forgive me. Thank you. When I deliver good software with all bugs fixed, I feel on top of the world every single time. Now take it in, but don't look down, 'cause I'm on top of the world, hey. I'm on top of the world, hey. Waiting on this for a while now, paying my dues to the dirt. I've been waiting to smile, hey. Been holding it in for a while, hey. Take it with me if I can. Been dreaming of this since a child. I'm on top of the world. That's all, folks. Please rate my talk, and thanks a lot for listening. Thanks very much.